Welcome back to my channel. It's Awash Sports, and today we're looking at the World Cup again, obviously. This is match day 10, I want to say. Netherlands versus Sweden, Germany, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, Curacao, Tunisia, Japan. This is a sneaky, really good slate today. So let's get right into it. I'm going to break down some of these games, see what we can learn, see what we can leverage in terms of, understanding what's going to happen in these games. First one's up, Netherlands versus Sweden. So right off the bat, I look at this predicted lineup, just going off what they started in the last game. Now for Netherlands, they tied their first game against Japan. The big thing that happened with them in that game is that every time they took the lead, they seemingly just sat back and let Japan attack them. With Sweden, they just absolutely destroyed Tunisia. So if we're starting on the Netherlands side and we're looking at the team that they're bringing out, and I put the ages on just so you can understand. I think sometimes experience in the World Cup really plays a factor. Experienced team in Netherlands, they play with each other a lot. This team on paper is very good. Like I said in my last video, they don't really have a weakness. De Jong in the midfield, Reinders, Gravenberch, Somerville played fantastic. He's going to get a move this summer away from West Ham. Malen up top, he is the most informed striker. This is a very good squad. But on the other side, because of what we saw in that Japan versus Netherlands game, I'm thinking if Sweden can play that, they have this back three, so it can convert into a back five. You have these two that can play defensively. He's a little bit more defensive. He can go up a little bit. But they'll be able to sit compact and then go on the counterattack. And I think, again, you start Isak and Gyökeres. I don't know why you wouldn't, but I think they just pose such a danger on the other side, as we saw against Tunisia. They worked very well together. Sometimes Isak dropped back, got the ball, played it off to Gyökeres, vice versa. They were connecting and linking up a lot. So I think you run this same team back because you need this victory because you still have Japan, you still have Netherlands. If Netherlands beat you, Japan could beat you. So it's not over for Sweden just because they had that fantastic first match. I'm going to be looking at Isak to do a lot of that running through the channels. And Gyökeres kind of maybe hold it back a little bit because I think Isak just has more of the ball control, the skill to really, move around these defenders. And I think he's a good target man for crosses. How I think this game goes, it's hard to tell. Because Sweden is not as, skilled in these positions, I'm a little bit concerned that they might just be going against Netherlands all game. But what we saw from Netherlands in that first game is that they aren't going to do that. They don't take advantage of, when they should have 65, 70% possession or, 60, 65, if we're being honest. I think the Sweden team just has so much confidence right now. So if you're playing a little defense and you're running counterattack, this could be interesting. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. And I think Isak and Gyökeres are both going to be involved in those goals. Next, we have Germany versus Ivory Coast. Now, I think this may be the game of today. And why I say that is because a lot of people, I think, are counting out this Ivory Coast team. Why? Because Germany just destroyed Curacao. But if we're being honest, they should have destroyed Curacao. Germany was a heavy favorite in that game. So I'm not oh my gosh, Germany's the best team in this tournament just because they won 7-1 against Curacao. So that's not how I'm feeling. This Ivory Coast team did not give up a goal in qualifying. I don't see them giving up a ton to Germany. Germany also, it took them a while to score against Curacao, and it only opened up after Curacao scored against them, and then they started playing a little bit too aggressively, and some of the goals that they gave up to Germany were just poor defending. So I like Ivory Coast a lot. They're my dark horse in this tournament to do a lot better than people think. I love this defense. They're very athletic. This is the youngest team in the World Cup this year. And one thing I said in my last video when I was talking about Ivory Coast, you see that they have Pepe, Kessié, Fofana to start because they are the youngest team. The reason they're starting them is to really, brace for that pressure that comes with, starting at a World Cup. So you want experienced players to really just guide your team through. But with that being said, for how well Amad Diallo played when he came on, he had the most dribbles, I think, in the entire tournament. He was on for 34 minutes. I think he will start. It was weird that he didn't start the last game, to be honest, but I understood the logic with Ecuador and you're trying to tire them out. Diomande, I think, is this World Cup's 2018 Mbappe. I think he's exploding onto the scene. He's very skillful. He's able to put defenders in his back pocket. My friend said that Kimmich is going to shut down Diomande. Yeah, okay. I would love to see that. So look at Diomande going after Kimmich all night long. And Amad, the Brown on the other side, that's just scary. And I'm going to pick Ivory Coast to win this game 2-1. I think Diomande and Amad is going to wreak havoc on this back line. I like Pepe. Bonnie, he'll have to prove himself if he is the one starting up top. Hopefully Simon Adingra gets in this game. Sangare played pretty well when he got in the game. So I just think this team is just so athletic, so skillful. They're fun. And this Germany team got a cakewalk in the first match. I don't know if they're expecting this much of a resistance to their team in this one. So I'm going to go 2-1 Ivory Coast. All right, next game, we got Ecuador versus Curacao. Now, in this game, I see it going one way. I do think Ecuador is going to win it. What we saw in that first game is that Ecuador can create chances. And, maybe their defensive, ability was a little bit overblown. But the problem is, this Curacao team is just not deep enough. They don't have enough, star talent on this team. I love Tahith Chong. I like Enner Valencia. He's very steady. He's the most crafty striker you're going to see in this tournament, maybe besides Holland, where he'll just be in the right spot for some reason for chances. So I think he scores in this game. Yeboah is really nice. Caicedo, will clog up that midfield. I don't think they have a chance against Caicedo there. So give me Ecuador 3-1. I think Tahith Chong might get a goal somehow, but I think Ecuador is just the more polished team in this scenario. Next and last, we have Tunisia versus Japan. Now, I love this Japan team, and it's because they always play together. This is a team first team, if that makes any sense. They know how to play with each other. You're always going to see them making runs and filling in, and defensively they're sound. I think with the Netherlands team, they got maybe a little bit out physical at times. I don't see that as the case in this Tunisia game. I think they'll be able to play a very, progressive game. They'll be able to ping that ball around. They'll be able to get in crosses, set people up. So I like this Japan team a lot. I wish Hannibal Mejbri luck. And this team showed a little fight, but defensively, they're just a little bit of a liability. And this Japanese team will find it, as we saw evidence in their game against the Netherlands. I think, again, this might be an easy win for Japan. 3-1 is my prediction. So that was my predictions, insights on what I think was going to happen on match day 10. If it's not match day 10, my bad. I should have looked that up before. But thanks so much for watching. This channel has been fun to make. I'm going to get better, try to cut it down a little bit, not make it so long. But I'm enjoying the World Cup. The World Cup's the greatest sporting event in the world. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else I should focus on, in these match predictions, players you want to know about. Yeah, anything. But thanks again so much for watching. Y'all are the greatest. See you in the next one.